Hi everyone, this is Rajvinder here from Ingram and I am the marketing lead for the Meta region. We have with us Abdul Basit here, who is a technical consultant for cloud, and we will be beginning with our webinar on Microsoft Office 365 deployment best practices. And I would like to thank everybody who could make for this webinar session, and we hope that it is quite informational for you and you get to grasp the knowledge provided by Abdul. So I will hand over the command to Abdul now, and he will guide you through the webinar. A quick update before we begin the webinar. We have a handout section in the GoToWebinar panel where you can download our presentation, what Abdul will be presenting to you, and you can go through with him during the webinar. So Abdul.
Hi everyone, this is Abdul Basit Salim. As Rajvinder told you that I'm the technical consultant for cloud department across the Meta region. Just before continuing, can you please confirm that is everyone able to hear me? Is my voice is clear? Okay, cool. So this is the second episode of our enablement sessions. I will be sharing some URLs by the end of this webinar with you. These sessions are basically for enablement of the partners. So for every week, every alternate week, we will be having technical sessions, technical training sessions, and every alternate other week, we will be having training sessions for the sales team of the partners. Someone said that they lost my voice. So everyone else can hear me? Yes, a lot of people can hear me. So Jitin, I believe you have to check your network connection. Okay, so we have been getting a lot of queries from the partners that they need to know the complete deployment process or what would be the best deployment practice for Office 365. So as apparently it seems that Office. Sorry for the interruption. There was a technical issue for the network connection. I believe you guys can hear me now. So the main purpose for setting up these training sessions to enable you guys to do the complete deployments and implementations, migrations for all the cloud products that Ingram Micro offers. Sorry for that. So by the end of this session, you guys would be able to know how to plan and how to prepare and how to migrate to Office 365. Also separately, as we have your contact details, I will also share you the complete deployment kit. So by using that kit, you can have the complete proposal guideline, policy guideline, everything with your to your customers and customers. Jitin, I believe you have to check your internet connection because rest of the people are able to hear me. So there are basically 3 deployment phases for Office 365. Okay, so everyone can see the screen and hear me fine? Okay, good. The first phase comes is of the planning. So in the planning, you do a kickoff meeting with with your customer, in which you will gather the complete requirement, whatever the business requirement they have for their Office 365 or Exchange Online, their existing infrastructure technical discovery. It means that you will be having you will be having the complete details of their existing infrastructure, their Exchange, their SharePoint, or their Skype for Business or Link. The next phase would be for preparation, that is setting up the Active Directory or Exchange, whatever Exchange they are using. Currently mentioned over here is Exchange 2010, but you can also migrate 2013 and 2016. the complete account creations and everything, and the last step would be for the migration. That migrating the data of your Exchange, your SharePoint, your OneDrive to Office 365. So this is a sample deployment schedule for a large enterprise that is more than 500 users, and estimatedly every mailbox size would be about 2 to 3 GB. So for that you will be needing almost 3 weeks to have the 3 weeks to have the complete environment discovery, so that what operating system they are using in their existing infrastructure, what server level, what email solution they are using, if Exchange, what version of Exchange, what are the policies, how they are able to access it, if it is accessible over public internet or not, what are the restrictions they have implemented, things like that. So next comes the preparation. In the preparation, and you will do the things required to, like for example, creating the Exchange Online accounts, SharePoint accounts, link accounts, checking up the network details at the customer end for the migration, and setting up the accounts and doing anything if they need any synchronization of Office 365 AD with the on-prem AD. And the last step would be the migration. That includes first mailbox migrated, then the complete migration, and lastly the cutover part is the MX record change, so that after the MX records they will be getting all the emails on the new Office 365 accounts instead of the old Exchange environment. So as I told you that we have 3 steps in the deployment phase. First one is the plan, then the prepare, and the last one is the migrate. So in the plan, we will first go with, you will in fact go with the your customer for the kickoff or solution alignment, like completely what they exactly need, what plan of Office 365 they need, what features they actually require in Office 365. You can propose them the right solution. Then do the analysis of the performance gap. Basically that is the transition, how you will train the users, or how the customer will train their users to move to Office 365. In fact, they don't have to be trained, they just need to be trained for Office 365. So I have a question here. What will be the downtime for the email on MX record change? So normally the market standard for the MX record change is 48 hours. That's what recommended time is, but it takes time. So the industry standard is of 48 hours, and industry suggestion is to do the cutover, to the migration, to the MX record change over the weekends. So back to our plan. So the third point is determine internet bandwidth. So the internet bandwidth is basically this will be used for uploading or for migration of the data from customer side to the Office 365. The best part of Office 365 is that it gives you the trial of E3 plan. You can have the trial subscription if the customer wants, and then afterwards when they are satisfied with that, then you can add the paid subscription to their account and assign the licenses to the appropriate users. Then you will finalize the project plan with the customer so that they can give you a go-ahead, a green signal. And guys, please keep in mind to ensure and clear everything and mention everything in the project plan, because in order to avoid any afterwards hindrance or any setback, because sometimes what happens is that customer gives you ask customer some requirements, some questions about relating to their infrastructure, and on the top of your head you miss something. For example, recently we faced an issue with a customer that they wanted to do the migration from Office Exchange 2007 to Office 365, and they were using Server 2003. and on their server 2003 they don't have any Exchange admin panel configured on public internet. In fact, they don't have any AWS or ECP configured at all. So all the migration tools, even the Office 365 was not able to discover their Exchange solution. So the only option left for them is to upload the PSTs to Office 365. So we have a question here. Is it possible to have a trial subscription under CSP for new customers? See, the trial subscription you will be having for 1 month, for 30 days. Then when your trial subscription is about to end, you can have any subscription. You can have CSP subscription, you can have OLP subscription, whatever subscription you want. And then, so let's back to our plan phase. So the next step will be mailbox migration tools and workstation/server. So basically, mailbox migration tool means that what would be your migration strategy? Either you are going to do it manually or you are going to do it through any third-party tool. There is a recommended third-party tool which I will tell you later, that is recommended by Microsoft itself to use for to migrate the data to Office 365. The native ways are to do the manual migration, that is batch migration, staging migration, or cutover migration. Then the next plan would be for your Active Directory Federation Services design. So and this is basically configuration or planning about the configuration for identity management for the user if the client wants to integrate their on-prem AD, on-prem Active Directory with Office 365 Active Directory. Then the migration of Exchange and the mobility requirements, that is if they want to have the users to access it over their mobile devices. We have a couple of questions here. For PST migration export, how much will it take? So basically it depends upon the size of your data and upon the size of the PST files and upon the upload speed of your internet connection. So how PST import works is that first you will upload it through a Azure tool to Azure storage, all the PST material, then from there it will be imported into Office 365. So the only time it will take is when you are uploading it from your on-prem infrastructure to the Azure storage. The next question is, do you need to consider number of domains in planning? Yes, you do need to consider number of domains in planning, because it is advisable when you want to migrate without a migration tool. Keep in mind, if you are dealing with multiple domains and you want to migrate without a migration tool, then you have to do the migration step by step for each domain, because you have to create the users in Active Directory for the particular domain and then do the migrations. But the thing is that when you do the, and just keep in mind over here that you will change the MX records after all the migration is done, regardless of that if it's a single domain or if it's multiple domains. So we have another question here. Sorry for that. Can we migrate on to another? Yes, you can migrate, but you have to have a separate subscription or separate tenant account. For example, your primary tenant, yes. So actually the question we got is, can you explain how native migration tools differ from third-party migration tools? I believe I believe it is important to make customer understand about the value in investing a third-party tool. Will all domains be managed through one portal? Can we migrate? Okay. So one by one, let's take your questions one by one. The difference between the native migration and the third-party tools is that For example, yes, I would be talking about Skycake. So with the Skycake, it has a very awesome or excellent feature that is called enterprise migration. So that is basically they designed it for multiple configuration, extensive configurations like multiple domains and things like that. So when you are using a migration tool, and more specifically when you are using Skycake and you are using their full suite migration, you don't have to do anything at all. What you have to do is that you have to just insert the admin credentials of your on-prem exchange, basically provide the details, username, password, things like that. Click next, then you will go to, guys, I will answer the questions one by one. Then you will go to the next screen, and on the next screen you will enter the admin credentials of your Office 365. Then click next, and on that screen you will be having all the discovery done from your on-prem infrastructure. So basically you will be having all the user details and all the everything from your on-prem listed over there, that which user you want to migrate, which data you want to migrate, and then just click next and next and next, and your migration will start. There will be a separate session for Skycake itself, in which I will train you guys how to do the complete Skycake migration from one step to the last, covering all the stages in it. And Leo, yes, all if you are having multiple domains, then Skycake Enterprise, that is Skycake full suite migration for enterprise project, will handle multiple domains. And Jatin, yes, you can migrate from one tenant to another tenant through Office 365. And I have a next question. How about migration Wiz tool from BitTitan? Honestly speaking, we haven't used the migration Wiz tool and from the BitTitan, because Skycake is the tool that is recommended by Microsoft itself. Microsoft itself has recommended to use Skycake for Office 365 migration, and we as an Ingram are the sole distributors for Skycake in this region. But the next question is Skycake support migration from one Office 365 tenant to another? Yes, Skycake does support our migration from one Office 365 tenant to another tenant. Guys, I believe let's cover up this deck first, then I will answer all your questions. Just list down your questions and I will go through one by one from them, and then we can have the questions answered. Okay, so in the bandwidth consideration, just give me a second. So in the bandwidth consideration, this is basically, it will be considered when you are having the full suite migration, for example through Skycake, or if you want to do the native migration, whatever you are having on your Outlook configurations, when you want to migrate those configurations to your new Outlook profile, the Office 365 Outlook profile, then for the domestic users, it will be considered. For infrastructure level, it will be considered when the migration from your Exchange server, the mailbox servers of Exchange, will be done to Office 365. So for the migration consideration, there are methods provided by Microsoft itself, and there are recommended tools by Microsoft like Skycake migration tool. In the next step would be Outlook client selection and the firewall proxies and switches. So for the native migration processes, as I told you, are For example, stage migration or batch migration or cutover migration, depending on the version of Exchange you are running. If you are running an older version of Exchange, for example 2007, believe me guys, it's really difficult to do the migration to the native ways. That is the manual migration. You don't want to do it, it's a nightmare. You can have my word on it. So in that case, you can use third-party migration tools. You can use Skype because Skype doesn't care what version of Exchange you are using. Skype only needs the admin access and admin and public access to your Exchange infrastructure, basically to your email infrastructure, and admin and public internet access to your Office 365. That's all it needs. The rest, it will do it on its own. The next part is the Outlook client selection, and yes, we have faced a lot of queries from the customers that they were using Outlook 2010, and when they see Outlook 2016, it's like a life-changing experience for them, honestly speaking. And I have encountered that statement from one of our partners that, and they told me that their customers are saying that Outlook 2016 is their life-changing experience. They don't know what to do. They don't want to spend time how to do things in Outlook 2016. So you have to train the customers, or at least you have to train the admin of your customers for the new versions of Office. And yes, you have to consider the firewalls, proxies and switches, etc. Basically the network configurations that are there on your client side. For example, I can quote your use case over here. On 2 weeks back on Friday, one of the partner called me and told me that they were having an issue in setting up or installing Office 365 into the customer and workstations or laptops. I asked them for the error, they gave me the error number, and I told them take out one of the machine out of that network and do that. They told me that they have handled all the proxies and firewall. They have included the MAC addresses into the firewall to let the communication go, but still they were facing the same error. Once they took it out from that outside from that network, basically through another public internet connection, their Office 365 installation went smoothly. So basically you do have to consider all the firewall rules, proxies, your network or the customer's network configurations. So the next step would be user identity and provisioning. So there are a couple of ways to handle it. For example, if the user wants to keep the separate Active Directory, if they are using on-prem Active Directory extensively for inside their company, for example, all their systems, workstations, the users of the workstations are managed through the Active Directory, and they want to keep the Active Directory or the user management of Office 365 separate from the on-prem. Then it's fine. Create the users in Office 365 and manage it from there, and manage the on-prem AD separately. But what if they want single sign-on? What if they want to integrate and manage it with Microsoft Online ID? Then you have to integrate the on-prem Active Directory with Office 365 AD. There are a couple of ways to do it. The recommended one is to through a tool, a synchronization tool. I believe that is called Office 365 AD Sync. So what would happen is that it will create a federation link between your on-prem Active Directory and Office 365 Active Directory, so that all the users will have the same username and password for everything. Basically, this is called single sign-on, but it has a drawback. For example, there is a glitch in your internet connection, and it is also reported for a bug in the past that tool, Office 365 AD Sync tool, that it does the miss sync. What it means is that it misses. In fact, today, right before this webinar, I got a call from the partner that their Active Directory from the on-prem and Active Directory on Azure, they have deleted a user from Azure Active Directory, Office 365 Active Directory, but the user has not been removed from their on-prem Active Directory because the missing was happening. It can happen to the passwords. If you have changed or reset the password at one place, there are chances that it won't be replicated to the other place. So that's why it is it's not recommended from Microsoft, but we recommend that to keep the both Office 365 AD and your on-prem AD separate to avoid any possible issue. So basically that's how it works. For example, if you have configured the single sign-on on all the users and workstations would be connecting to Office 365 because it has been synchronized with your on-prem Active Directory. Then you can use multi-factor authentication. How multi-factor authentication works is that when the user logs in through the username and password into the Microsoft portal, Office 365 portal, they will be asked to insert a PIN code. Through the mobile apps, there are a couple of mobile apps available. There is an Azure Authenticator app available. There are more third-party tools available like Google Authenticator, things like that. Or you can have it on your mobile. If you have set up your mobile number, you can have the PIN code on your mobile number. That's how multi-factor authentication works. Sorry for the pop-up. So for the Exchange Online, the planning considerations, you have to do the complete evaluation and planning for all the features available, what features customers need, what are the features that they are currently using in their on-prem and Exchange infrastructure, what features they are looking for in having in Office 365 or more specifically in Exchange Online. And again, analyze their Active Directory health and do the perform the necessary cleanup. That if they are not having some number of users, and if they have removed or disabled, deleted some users, please do the cleanup. Also, do the cleanup of the mailboxes. That is removal of unnecessary emails in the mailboxes. It will reduce the mailbox size drastically. Believe me. And also it will, because once the mailbox size will be reduced, the migration will be more faster, more quicker. As I told you, which partner tools are best, according to us, Skype is the best for this. And yes, I will let you guys know that when we are going to have the sales training session for Skype and technical training session for Skype migration, and there would be another training session for Skype backup. Skype also provides the backup tool for Office 365. And believe me, the best part for that one is that you don't have to install anything anywhere. It's all managed over the cloud through the browser. Same happens for Skype for Business. You have to do all the service analysis, that what kind of services they are using in Skype for Business, if they are using it for the online meetings, or if they want to use the dashboard feature, screen sharing, if they want to use the IM, if they want to use the unified messaging, if they want to use instant messaging, if they want to use audio video calls. You have to have those complete information from their existing infrastructure. If they don't have the existing infrastructure, you still need to have that information so that you can propose them, or if you're doing the configuration, you can do such configurations in the Skype for Business online, obviously. The same thing is for SharePoint Online. You have to do the planning for the service description. You have to do the planning for the permissions and all the people, that is the user permission and the group permissions. You have to do the analysis for the complete site designs and everything about the collaboration, what material would be in the sites, what material they are looking for, what features they are looking for, or site, what site look and feel they are looking for in the SharePoint. As same like again, and what basically what things completely what things they are using in SharePoint and what they are looking for to have in SharePoint. And again, what partners or partner tools that you can use to migrate to Office 365, how you can transform all the existing service system integrators and everything that you need to have in the planning, the complete planning, because everything depends on the plan. Once you don't have a complete plan, you will be stuck in the deployment and it will delay everything. It will delay your deadlines. You won't be able to meet your deadlines and it's not a good effect. And then the client deployments. Client deployments is basically the your client tools like Office tools, Outlook, Skype for Business, these tools. For that, and what I mean by this is that sorry for that. The available operating systems, the supported operating systems are XP, Vista, Windows 7, 8, 8.1, Windows 10, Office 2016 is in the place now, Macintosh, that is Apple MacBooks, 10.4, 5, 9, the latest one 10.11 also, it has Office 2016. So now for the first time you will be having the same Office for MacBooks and same Office for Windows systems also. So for the mobile devices, you have to keep in mind that what kind of mobile configuration they need, because for the BlackBerry you have to have the active sync enabled, or if you don't want them to be the emails accessible through the mobile devices, you can I think disable that thing also. So once the planning is done, you need to do the preparation for the deployment. So what happens in the preparation is that Active Directory preparation, then obviously the cleanup of the directory, the first 3 steps will be the Active Directory preparation, then next would be reducing the mailbox size. In the planning phase, you plan that what needs to be done in order to reduce the mailbox size. In the preparation phase, you will be actually reducing the mailbox size. Then, and for example, if you have Exchange 2010 over there, then you will be having it how to migrate and things to consider in it. So before moving forward, guys, let's run a quick poll. So please do give me the feedback over the polls, the questions that would be asked. Guys, please answer this question. Okay, a lot of you said that it's a no. Okay. Next, move on to the next question. So it is that what migration challenges you face. Basically, you face issues in planning, you face issues in implementation, or you face issues in migration. So I'm getting a quick feedbacks. That's good. 50% migration, 50% migration, 24% implementation, and 30-something% planning. Okay, 61% have voted. guys, please make it at least 80% or 80 to 90% of you guys should have done the vote for it. Yes, 3% more, it's already 67%. Make it 70. Okay. So let's move on to the next question. So do you use any third-party tools? The following, Skype or BitTitan or none of the above. If you choose none of the above, I believe it means that I would assume that you would be having through native migration, that is the manual migrations. %53 have voted. Come on guys, please answer it quickly. Oh, 72% good. Okay, so guys, let's move back to our training session. Oh, let me just give it a look to attendees who are attending it. So I have a good number of attendees over here. That's cool. That's good. So the next phase in the migration would be the configuration of client softwares, and what would be the end user training, the users who would be using Office 365, and obviously the migration of groups and the complete migration schedule. So how you will be doing the Active Directory configuration or Active Directory preparation? You need to do the attribute cleanup. If you want to do the mass creation of users in Office 365, you have to in fact match the parameters that are available over there. You can upload the CSV file, the templates are available over there so that you can create the users in bulk in Office 365. It means that you don't have to create a user one by one. The activities preparation that what you are having on your on-premise Active Directory, the UPN Universal Principal Name, and the preparation of UPN Active Directory attributes. This is the case where you want to integrate your on-prem AD to your Office 365 AD. The same is also again for the policies, what kind of policies you want to have, what kind of policies for the password you are existingly having and what you want to have in Office 365, the complete configuration of those policies, everything. And obviously pre-deploy the latest Office, that is Office 2016, Outlook 2016 in all the client machines before initiating the migration, so that they will be having the complete tools, the client tools or client software available on their systems. And guys, keep in mind over here is that the tools like Skycake or I'm not sure about BitTitan, but I'm sure about Skycake, they don't support email clients apart from Office 2016 or apart from Office in fact, regardless of 2016, 13 or 10, apart from Outlook email client. If you are using Thunderbird and other like Sparrow mail clients, things like that, Skype doesn't support them. So the last phase for the deployment is the migration phase, where you will be actually assigning the license to the users and enabling the users. And obviously feature enablement, if email enablement or SharePoint enablement for the users or link server, Skype for business enablement, and final end user communication, that is basically giving them the final heads up, the users final heads up that okay, after the weekend you guys would be, this would be your new email details, that this would be your, if they are not using Outlook, this would be the portal.office.com you have to log in here to check your emails, basically things like that. And to provide them the help desk or support number or email addresses, then do the migration, and after that post migration services testing so that everything has been migrated. Then in the last, obviously change the MX record, that is basically the cutover. So the migration types available are hybrid, that is basically through the Exchange Management Console. The latest Exchange 2013 and 2016 does have a feature if you want to export the material to online to Office 365. If you want to run PowerShell scripts, you are more than welcome to run it if you are really good in it. Then the simple IMAP or Exchange migration, that is for example, if you want to just move the data to the manual ways, that is the native migration. And lastly, third-party tools, and again as recommended by Microsoft and Ingram, Skype. So what are the common deployment blockers? For example, infrastructure requirement. When you don't have the complete infrastructure requirement, it would be a roadblock. It would be a huge roadblock. How you can convert that roadblock into the milestone is that have the complete on-premise hardware infrastructure certificate, every infrastructure details, have it with you. Plus, do the client upgrades before the migration is initiated. That is, if the users are using older versions of Office or older versions of Outlook, do upgrade them before initiating the migration. The resources, the next part is the gaps in service offering. That is totally dependent on you. How convincing or convenient you are for your customers, that to make them understand what would be the difference between Exchange as a product, between Office 365 as a service. Obviously, you guys, we will be training you guys on the sales part also to handle this one. For the resources, the plan for necessary resources, time, people, etc. For the planning for the resources part, I will be sharing a template deployment kit with you that will be having the complete. Let me in fact tell you. Sorry, I cannot show you currently that one because that's in my other system. But in the deployment kit, it will be including the complete deployment guide, deployment plan, training outline. These are not the exact documents, but these are the templates for you so that you can populate the information in those templates accordingly. For example, in the deployment plan, and you will be having the complete deployment chart in an Excel sheet, then the complete project plan in the Word file. And then in the deployment guide, what would be the add-on solutions you are giving? There is a document for it, the complete deploying of Office 365, the SLA you are committing to your customer, what are migration tools or methodologies you are going to use, plans for the customer, everything. Everything would be included in that deployment kit. Yes, Mir, you guys will be provided with the recording of this session. But please do join on time next time. I mean, from the next time, please join on time. So the next thing is the migration support, that is the alignment of your resources, your client's resources, and obviously the technology. By technology, I mean alignment of the customer's on-prem existing infrastructure to Office 365, what features they need. As I told you, final end user communication, you need to tell them that what things they need, how they are going to use the latest Office products, help desk support, help desk or support readiness. So you would be ready to provide them support. Obviously, we would be at your back. We would be providing you support as much as we can. But the first line of support, obviously for your customers, you would be the ones who will be the first line of support. Then the actual mailbox migration, either through the native ways or through the third-party tools like Skype. And please do, it's a necessary, in fact it's beyond mandatory to do the post-migration services testing, because if you don't do these testings, and if the users, if your customer will be having any issue afterwards, it will be a nightmare for you. After then, when everything is done, do the cutover, not necessarily change the MX record, basically do the cutover action from old infrastructure in the continuity of or continuation of Office 365. I know guys, this is, and it seems like an old picture. Just a second, it seems like an old picture, but that's the best I could I have in my database. For example, first you have to add your domain, add the CNAME records, directory cleanup, then Active Directory, Federation Services, directory sync, coexistence of your Exchange servers, license assignment, migration, then install client apps. Basically, this is just an overview of the steps, because I told you we have segregated these steps. We have segregated these steps into 3 phases. First one is the plan, then the preparation, and the last one is the migration. So guys, now you can shoot up your questions. Okay, let's move to the question phase. Okay, for the Skype. Okay guys, let me show you over here. Sorry for that. I'm cloud.me/stay in touch, and I am cloud.me/events. So guys, these are 2 links. When you click on the first, when you open up the first link, it will give you a form. After fulfilling that form, and when you submit it, your contact details will automatically be added. Your contact details will automatically be added into our system, this webinar system, and you will be getting all the invites automatically. And by checking the next link, you will find out when the next training sessions would be. And let's continue with the questions. So thank you for the presentation. You have mentioned the client is for migration. It is not clear from the slide. Please explain. Okay, let me go to slide 21. Client. So basically, this slide is basically for you when you want to install before the initiating the migration in the preparation phase. You have to upgrade or you have to install all the client softwares like Outlook, Skype for Business, your Office 2016, all the tools into the client machines, in their laptops, in their desktop workstations. Can multiple, okay, I think Shweb, that is good with you. Okay, and the next question is, can multiple domains be managed in one portal in Office 365 like XYZ? Yes, you can manage multiple domains in one portal. The example of it is that if you have an access to Office 365 portal, just go to the admin, go to domains, and in the domains you will see 2 domains. One would be is that your whatever primary domain xyz.com or .a, and one would be your xyz.onmicrosoft.com. So basically there are 2 domains, and I have personally tested by adding multiple domains into one Office 365 account, and yes, that is possible. And the next question is, any video shown in Skype showing Skype in action? Yes, there are videos available over YouTube, but I will be giving you a complete in-depth technical training for how to do the static migration, and it won't be consisting of the presentation like today. It will be actually the live demo. I will be doing the migration in front of you guys. What are the possibilities? Next question is, what are the possibilities to get the technical services from you guys? And to answer is, yes, we do provide professional services. We have in-house professional services. Also, Ingram compromises of Ingram, as you might know, that Ingram Micro is a group of companies. Ingram does have professional services companies under Ingram banner, and also we have a vendor, NetEnrich, who are specialized in working for Office 365 and Azure professional services. Okay, the next question is hi, just hi. Okay, okay. So can you please give the links again? Okay, sure. So here are the links. Okay, next question is, if someone is using Thunderbird, then what need to we do? So in case of Thunderbirds, the configuration of their Thunderbird won't be migrated to the Outlook or to their new Thunderbird profile. You have to do it manually. I'm not sure about how to do it with the Thunderbird, but if you want, I can look into it and will let you know if there are ways to do it. But if you want to use Skype with your migration and you are using Thunderbird, all your data available on the Exchange server, your mail server, will be migrated to your Office 365 to Skype. Okay, the next question is, what are the minimum Outlook client version required for 365? I believe Office is Outlook 2010 works with it. But when we are getting Office Outlook 2016 free of cost with Office 365, I believe you should upgrade the Outlook client. Sorry for that, because Microsoft is retiring old products. Like last year they have retired Server 2003. Soon they will be retiring old versions of their products. So please upgrade to the latest products. So the next question is, what is the question? Is code to migration tool work for while for Samir? I'm not aware of code to migration tool, but for big deployments like enterprises that have multiple Exchange servers and things like that, Skype does have the feature, as I previously told you guys, Skype full suite migration, and under that enterprise project. Okay, honey, I will include my contact details also in the very same slide, in fact. And you can also reach me at my mobile phone 526057864. Okay, so you guys can reach me over the email, or you can call me up anytime. It would be great if you don't call me in the middle of the night, but I don't mind it, but okay, so the next question is, because in my migration some users are using Thunderbird, I agree that data that are on the server will be uploaded, but will the So Shweta, I believe your case was for IMAP migration. Anyway, if you are using Outlook or if you are not using Outlook, when you have to do the IMAP migration, Skype only provides the data migration from the server to Office 365, because it would fall in the Skype data only migration. And hold on a second. Okay, so under the Skype data only migration, you can only use that one, because the same thing would happen if you would go for full suite migration. It's just a wastage of money, because it would do the same things. It won't do anything extra what data only would do when we are doing the only IMAP migration. Abid Khan question is, in business plan there is no office product, so Ani, I just gave my email address in the presentation, and yes, that email address is right. Yes, and Abid, if there isn't any office to download, then you can have it over the browser. You can use the browser over the browser, but yes, Outlook 2010 is supported. And guys, it's nice to talk to you. In fact, talking to you over the chat. I believe this session is of productivity to you guys, and I will be looking forward to see you guys in the future sessions. You guys will be receiving the link for the recording of this session, and I believe you guys have already downloaded the handouts, and also I will be sharing, once I get the contact details of you guys from the marketing department, I'll be sharing the deployment kit also with you. Okay, for your time, thank you guys. Hope it has been a good thing for you guys. See you in the next training session. Goodbye. Have a nice day.